What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G, and welcome back to another episode of Arknights. In particular, this is part 2 of our playthrough of the Zwillingsturme event. Now, it's been a couple days since I last recorded, and I've done my daily logins, and I've gotten a couple of things. I didn't do any today yet, so we'll get into that as we start. But I've done my daily logins and stuff so that I got at least my currency and stuff for my monthly card, and I've checked on my recruitments and stuff like that. I did a little bit of base upgrade stuff, but nothing too crazy. Like, I really didn't actually play or farm or do anything like that. I just did some base upgrade stuff, collected my freebies, visited bases, that kind of stuff. I did, with one of my recruits, get a 4-star in Earth Spirit. And that has made me really, really happy because Earth Spirit, to me, is one that I still use on my main account on occasion for the slowing effect, like what Orchid does, but when Orchid is fully upgraded, that's like the end of Elite 1 for Earth Spirit. But Earth Spirit's a little more powerful at the end of her Elite 1. So she goes even further yet when you Elite 2 her. So that's going to be fun for me. And if I can get her upgraded, I will probably swap Orchid out for her. But other than that, obviously, by the time I'm recording this, the free pulls and stuff for the By My Will banner is going to be gone. And we've started into using my Arundum to pull on the Colonel banner. So to try and get some of the cool Colonel operators that are available. But again, this is part 2. We're going to pick up where we left off with the event. And I know that the dialogue and everything is very, very long. We're still going to continue going through that, chronicling that, and so on and so forth. And again, most likely just going to go as far as we can with the main story of the event as it is. No EX stages or anything like that. But I'm anxious to continue playing it here for you guys. At this point in time, I'm actually on the last stage in my main account. And it is awesome. I have really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm powerful enough to beat this with the team I have on this account, but we're still going to give it a try and see how far we can go. So let's get started. Okay. So here we shall go. Ooh, I forgot about these. I will need to farm a little bit of these to be able to continue because I'm low on the one and have 0 in the other and whatnot. So let's just pick up where we left off with ZT-3. Let's see how if we can do it. All right. Let's see if I can remember how I was doing these voices. The sound I heard when I was passed out. Whoop, didn't want to auto that. It was you sharpening your sword. It got some dirt on it on the way back. It had better be sharp enough. My neck is sturdier than you might think. That's not for you to decide. Are we on top of a spire? I'm not going to let you jump off, if that's what you mean. As I said, there are no second chances. It almost sounds like you want me to live. It doesn't matter what I want. It's my responsibility. You also have your own responsibilities, don't you? You return to Leithanien. Don't run away again like a child. Perhaps your employer forgot to mention this, but Graf Urtica is dead. But the Urtica Graf shaft still exists. You are still the last of House Urtica. But I never wanted. Running away doesn't make the problems disappear. No one can choose their birth. In that sense, we're all the same. Is that what you tell yourself to justify serving as an executioner for that evil old fart? Fart. That you had no choice but to become his follower. 9. That's how I remind myself what it took to gain the freedom I have now. What? Using the name Urtica, the one you call an evil old fart, changed my family's destiny. Everything I do today, I do to protect the hard-earned freedom of myself and many like me. You're thanking the Witch King? I'm just stating a fact. A fact, huh? What about the fact that he spilled so much blood? What about the fact that his remnants have claimed so many innocent victims? Did you think you could ignore all the pain they inflicted on others just because of some convenient fact? The Witch King is dead. Let the historians, politicians, and everyone else with too much time on their hands judge his deeds. I'm a warrior. My only concern is the battle in front of me and the battle to come. If he truly left anything behind, then whether his legacy is good or bad isn't up to him anymore. It's up to those who make use of it. As his heir, that's how you should be thinking. Don't you dare look at me like that! Your wounds are going to open up. I don't need sympathy from a remnant of the Witch King. Graf, not another word! Ebenholz, which of us do you really think isn't brave enough to face the facts of the Witch King? That'll do, Lessing. Welcome back. Fremont. Are the arts ready? Arts? Hopefully what's in your head will come in useful, Lamb of Urtica. Now, let me see it. The melody is surprisingly intact, considering Leithanians know nothing of souls. Sometimes I wonder if these people meticulously recorded even what Harkonshorn mumbled in his sleep. I almost miss those metaphors of his when he used to curse out his tutor. You knew the old fart? Who are you? Old fart? Is that how you talk about the elders of your own family? I thought you Leithanians were all about etiquette and manners. Well, that's one thing you have in common with him, I suppose. I have nothing in common with him. Stop screaming. Are you a 3-month-old baby? Crying any louder won't make anyone listen. Why don't you do something useful with your mouth? I could teach you some vocal arts that can be cast with your tongue alone. I'm not taking any lessons from a minion of the Witch King. I don't know why. Like, I know he doesn't really have, but I picture Ebenholz with like a slightly deeper voice, like a Liam O'Brien type voice. For those of you that know some dub voice actors. Ball of Arts. Was that which hit you the last time, Lessing? I was careless. How many times do I have to tell you you need to do more than swing your sword around? Train your arts perception. I hope you'll never tell anyone I raised you, you stupid sheep. I never have. As for you, I suppose it's noteworthy that you can manage that without an arts unit. But your manipulation of energy couldn't be more clumsy. Are you trying to blow yourself up? Who taught you to use lesions like that? The imbeciles in the spires? Is that all the Witch King's fools? They learned from Harkonshorn's madness, but without a sliver of his skill. That's better, my little lamb. It's best that you stay put for everyone's safety. Check the defensive enchantment, Lessing. Professor Hoffman is on the way. You should wait until he arrives. We need to get this over with, quickly, before we draw the attention of Empress's voice and the Geistesfaktor. Fine. Gerard won't be of much help, but it's not the worst thing for him to learn a lesson or two. The Genesis horn. Humph. How long has it been? Carl Schmidt Street. That place again. It's just an old street where a bunch of failed artists make their homes. I've already investigated it more than a few times. Loris Borden received a phone call before his death. It was from an old baron by the name of Lucas, who lives on Carl Schmidt Street. Apparently he's from the Gendarmerie many times he's called for the Gendarmerie many times because of the noise in the streets. The old nobles are all like that, overreacting at the smallest things. They think they can order the people down here around like servants, even though they've been kicked out of their spires. What I mean is, I wouldn't take it too seriously. Loris Borden's actions indicate the likelihood of a plausible lead there. Were you even listening? Just because he went there doesn't mean he thought it was worth investigating. He may have been the commander of the Gendarmerie, but he was just a Visigraph. And a houseless outsider at that. 20-year-old honor made him little more than a glorified servant for the great nobles of a place like Zwillingsturme. He answered the Baron's call, not because it was a useful lead, but because he had to. This information has little relevance to the objective. Hey, don't just go, at least wait up! That shop. Frau Schultz's fine hats. I don't usually wear hats because of my halo. Just go in. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, mein Dame. Oh, by your appearance, I take it you're local. You could say that. Do you know how I can get to Carl Schmidt Street? I'm sorry, I'm new around here. I don't suppose young nobles like yourselves leave their spires very often. I'll ask someone else. No need. Just follow the street until the 4th statue, then make a left. You'll see it in the distance. See what in the distance? You didn't know? Carl Schmidt Street is also known as Marigold Alley. Marigold? It's where the great composer Carl Schmidt once lived. He wrote some famous pieces about marigolds under the sun, making the alley kind of holy ground for art lovers. Interesting. I've never read about that. A little anecdote, the kind you hear all over Zwillingsturm. Hardly even a story. Well, danke. For the directions and the story. Incidentally, you're not old enough to be buying a graduation cap, are you? Oh, I'm waiting for someone. Oh? If we happen to be heading to the same place, would you like to come with me? Thank you for the offer, but the music of the Kaiserinnen will guide me. Very well. May the melody of Zwillingsturm be ever long and winding like the rivers in the clouds. Viviana. You can come out now. Explain your actions. That was an Empress's voice who just passed by. She seemed decent enough, but unfortunately we're not walking the same path. You're a little later than we agreed on, Viviana. I met a remarkable young man on the streets. Now I'm sure we're not the only ones looking into this case. You sound a little sad about that. Yeah, the spy was practically a child, and... You stopped. What's the matter? I'm listening. The music of the Kaiserinnen is still playing. Zwillingsturm will still bathes in their wonderful melody. But can a melody played by divergent wills remain in harmony forever? You fear the Empress's voice. Is your employer an enemy of the Empress's? Are you out of your mind? Don't ask that question out on the street. We'll be entering the alley soon. I will ask then. Fine. You want to know if I'm in league with the people who killed Loris Borden? Absolutely not. I'm a lupo, which I hope would... I cannot talk again tonight. I'm a lupo, which I would hope is obvious. I was born near Syracusa. In the early years of the Witch King's reign, not long after Syracusa broke away from Leithanien, how do you think he and his followers treated my people? I was inquiring about you personally, not the history of your family. Is there a difference? I'd assumed that you made your own choices of your own free will. Free will? Not in my family. I was born to carry our destiny. Just like the lady who recently became an Empress's voice. She went from Leithanien to Casimir's, and from Casimir's back to Leithanien. Was any of that her own choice? I'm inferring that it's complicated. This will make it difficult to discern friend from foe. Huh. Why do you think they call Laterano paradise? Stop. What's the matter? Carl Schmidt Street is just ahead. The Empress's voice went there. Maybe Borden really did find something. The alley has changed from before. It is too quiet. Are these pieces all by Frau Seaman? Ja, mein Dame. All drafts of der Tod der Hexenkönigs. Königs. I didn't dare touch them, nor did I understand them, so I left them where they were. What about anything else from the past few years? These past few years, there's not much to show. She often said that her passion ended that autumn 23 years ago. Would you like to peruse her earlier works? If you don't mind. Frau Siemens' early works are characterized by refined touches and bright, lively colors. Frida Siemen wanted to capture authentic emotions with her brush. She had an excellent memory, and made good use of originium arts to recreate snapshots in time. She was still young when I saw her in the Witch King's Spire for the first time. She had an almost Minoan liveliness to her, less of the stiffness of your average Leithanien noblewoman. Her easygoing nature attracted people from all walks of life. Frida's friends used to hold poetry gatherings here in this alley. Your parents were among them. My parents? They came here too. Did they never tell you? This is where they met. Your father wasn't a Kurfürst in waiting yet. Quite yet. He came from Sturmland to Einwald and often participated in gatherings of young people in Marigold Alley. One day, a young woman of common stock mustered the courage to read a little poem she wrote at Frau Siemens' poetry gathering. And that was my mother? She never told me any of this. Her brow's always been furrowed for as far back as I can remember. Lucinda Drost was a shy, gentle girl with soft, gleaming eyes. Gazing upon her was like sitting by the lakeside in the summer, with a gentle breeze brushing by. Werner fell in love at first sight, almost missing His Majesty's summons. If Brandt hadn't covered for him, he would have been part of a statue in front of the spire by the time House Hochberg's soldiers arrived at Einwald. This was still during the reign of the Witch King. Hard to believe, isn't it? But that era was resplendent in its own way, much like the painting before you. A resplendent marigold. This painting looks familiar. I think I've seen it before. But where? Viviana, I'm sorry, but I need to take this painting away. Your mother is gone. I'll have someone clear out the room. I couldn't possibly leave you here with no one to take care of you. Someone will be here to take you away soon. Don't cry. You'll meet new friends out there. There will be people who love you, even without Muti and Vati. You'll see the marigolds with your own eyes. See for me if they're blooming, like in the painting. A flower chasing the sun. The clouds above Sturmland rarely clear up. It was cold and wet up in the spire. Father tried many things and hired many casters, but could never get them to survive in the flower pots. But here in this tiny Zwillingsturme alley, they're everywhere. It's warm. Where are you going, Viviana? An enemy. Viviana! Music is faint, almost imperceptible. It seems distant, but also nearby. It transcends time, transcends memories, linking them in the same space. You're going back. Ernst's condition deteriorated rapidly. Even the best healers the twins could find couldn't save his life. Which means you could be the new Kurfürst of Sturmland. When I first came here, I thought I was going to be a poet. What about Lucinda? I certainly hope she'll come with me, but I won't force her. She's talented. She could become a great painter under Frau Siemens' tutelage. You love her and she loves you. Which is why I can't lie to her. I'm no longer the carefree youngest son of the Hochbergs. From this day forth, my life belongs to Sturmland and to House Hochberg, not to myself. The nobles will have a whole gaggle of young ladies lined up, all vying to be my wife. I wouldn't be able to promise her anything, even if she were willing to come. If we lose the power struggle, she could end up her days as a handmaiden in our spire. His Majesty, the Witch King is dead. The spire that towered over Leithanien has fallen. Our days of being slaves to fate were expected to be left in the past. At the very least, we know that the name of our fate isn't the Witch King. Just give it one last try, won't you? Either take her with you or stay here for her. Just like the night when the Witch King fell, I pray that the kind and gentle will have their happy ending. The music grows clearer. Unlike the performance of the statues, the music is alive. Like a kindly hand, it pulls her forward, down the stairs, away from the wind and rain. It is close, almost there. Down the stairs, and the sunlight is waiting outside. car is here. Lucinda is not here. I must find her. Everyone is waiting for you. The Witch King is dead. Your men must return to their lands in accordance with our agreement with the twins. You must leave the city before noon. The armories of the other Kurfürsten are watching your every move. Sturmland. 9. The fate of Leithanien falls on your shoulders. When did you become such a stranger, Brant? You always wear that helmet. I can't see your eyes. Sometimes I can't even tell if it's you speaking or another Gesselsvachter. Because it makes no difference whether it's me or another Gesselsvachter. Leithanien cannot afford another civil war. Sturmland needs a Kurfürst who the people will get behind. You're not here to protect me, are you? Just like you didn't protect Ernst or Father that night. Do you remember, Werner? When I was selected for Gesselsvachter training, I came to you and Ernst and told you I wanted to stay. You grew up with us and swore fealty to House Hochberg. You didn't want to go back on your vow. But you told me you're defending something far more important than any person's life, more important than House Hochberg. I never forgot that, not even for a moment. All right then. Is fate truly so impossible to resist, Brant? No. Don't go. Don't give up hope. At least not so easily. The young Kurfürst turns around and leaves, but Viviana does not want to follow. She tries her hardest to go back. A golden glow always fills the alley in the autumn. Her mother must be somewhere in there, simply unable to make it in time. She runs, she searches, marigolds bloom under the sun, just like the hopes her parents once had for the future. She wants to grab a hold of her mother, to grab a hold of her father's silhouette from the memory. As though she could change something if she did. Change the tragedy that was her father's life and change her own. Year after year, the golden flowers take in the city's joy, anger, and sorrow, remaining as bright as ever in bloom. But some blooming hopes were left behind forever 23 years ago. Why? Why couldn't I grab it? Is fate truly so impossible to resist? Viviana, around you! Viviana looks up in a trance. The music stops. The melody seems to freeze in place, then becomes rushing energy. Like dark clouds, the arts tear the sunlight apart and rush towards her. Ugh! No need to fear. I'm with you. A cello. Mental arts. The music is awakening our memories of Werner. Mother. Father. Over here, Viviana. I'll cover your ears with my hands. They're gone. I couldn't change anything. Don't listen to it. Whatever you're seeing in your imagination isn't happening in the present. The remnants of the Witch King are in this alley. They knew we were coming. There are too many of them. I can't deal with them all. We need to escape. Another sound emerges. It is like a melody, but cannot be sung. It is like a bell, but continuous, without pausing. It is a declaration that rings in the chambers of the hearts. Like the brightest setting sun, radiant purple arcs shine through the clouds and fill the streets. This melody, the Gesselsvachter. Brant, is that you? Take Werner's daughter inside. As for you, embers of evil, filthy dregs picked up from the trash heap, how dare you defile Zwillingsturme? Here we go. ZT3. Okay.
Please take good care of yourself while I'm gone. Not one step backward.
I don't know how to do this one.
I'm ready.
Put her there.
You'll pay for that. I'm here to help.
Put Myrtle out.
I'm listening.
We'll have Bruce on there, so...
I have to get serious now.
Yeah, Cruz is gonna go down quick.
There you are.
That's alright. Put Click there.
I'll show them what I can do.
Oh, she's gonna go down.
Skill. Distract them.
I screwed this up because I should be...
Gather around me, guys.
I should be...
Linda. There we go. Freeze!
Yeah, I should be getting this going.
Not one step backward. You shouldn't have set foot here. Got it. Not one step backward. Whew, almost like we're counting on you again today, little apple.
We'll let Pookie have at them. Not that that's gonna do much, but...
I'm listening. Speed.
Red can handle that.
Here I am.
Dang, operators go down left and right. I'm gonna have to rethink this strategy because this is not working. Okay, well, we're kind of screwed there. Alright, let's rethink that. I don't know if we can beat this stage yet, but we'll figure it out. Let's think for just a moment here. Alright, picking back up where we left off. It's actually been where I ended there, where I screwed up on the last time. I took a break, had to leave, and it's actually been 2 nights. The night before last night, the night in between, I meant to pick back up, fell asleep a little early. So it's just been a rough couple of days trying to record this damn episode. So either way, we're gonna continue. We're gonna pick up where we left off. I watched how I did it on my main account. I actually have finally finished the event on my main account, but I watched how I did it on there. Really didn't help me because of the fact that I had Powerhouse Team. It just, whatever, it was, there was no way I was gonna replicate. So I'm gonna try a few things based off of what I did and then also off of a strategy I watched.
I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this
but we'll see. We'll see how this works.
Anyway, let's just get started.
I'll show them what I can do.
Okay.
I'm here to help.
She's there to hit that. Jessica's gonna keep working on them. I'm gonna put
You'll
Mountain
pay for that.
here. And then I need a medic up top. So I'll put her.
There we go. I have to get serious now.
I'm ready.
And put Earth Spirit there to work on slowing them.
You'll pay for that.
I'm gonna put her here. This is similar to, I forget who else I watched that
Solid position.
did a strategy that was very similar to this.
Get around me, guys. I'm listening.
Speed. No way out.
You can handle that.
Sink into the earth.
Doctor, I can heal that wound in no time.
光がこの地を守り抜く。
indeed. We're counting on you again today, little apple. I'll show them what I can do.
I'm not gonna. They're gonna get in. Damn. Okay. So much for that.
You shouldn't have set foot here. Solid.
You'll pay for that. Don't be afraid. Heal that wound
Don't
in
want to
no
let
time.
any through.
Whew, almost does. I have to get serious now.
Skill from shadows.
Yep. Nope. Still can't beat it. Why are they just blasting through me over on this side now suddenly? Do I need to stack the bottom better?
We'll fight harder next time.
Should I not put Jessica the way I did? Maybe. Maybe I should put a caster there instead. Let's do a practice run so I'm not wasting all my sanity, even though I have a ton. Let's do a practice run. And let's put, first of all, Myrtle there to take care of this. I'm pretty sure this was KyostinV's strategy or whatever. Attack that. And keep that in our favor.
Gather around, guys.
Maybe this is what we'll do. We'll put Earth Spirit here.
There we
Keep
go.
them healed. We'll do it this way, because she'll cover everything. I don't like the idea of putting Cruz there.
I'll show them what I can do.
I definitely want to put a guard, or like a,
Solid positioning.
yeah.
Binda. Stick it to the earth.
I have to get serious now. I'm listening. Freeze!
We're gonna slow this down.
Doctor? I can heal that wound in no time.
Maybe I should put somebody else here to help cover this ground. Keeping them slowed down is definitely helping. Down here. That's working. That's working a little bit better. So far. Once I could probably pull Myrtle because Earth Spirit will be able to keep this going. I could actually do that, and we'll let Click handle doing some damage here. Might have a semi-decent strategy for now. For now.
Just try me.
I'm gonna have to probably pull Pookie here.
Doctor? I can heal that wound in no time.
You shouldn't have set foot.
I'm gonna get Bubble ready just in case. Okay, they're taking care of this so far pretty well. Oh yeah. Nope.
Hurry up.
First of all, Glimmershine can go there.
Don't be afraid. I can heal that wound in no time.
Binda, you shouldn't have set foot here.
Here I am.
Okay, now we're struggling. Ooh, Mountain healed himself. Click. You get on that attacking. Now we're struggling a little bit down here. But Bubble can hold them back. Mountain's beating on people, knocking them down real quick. This might be our strategy. No.
One step back.
Bubble. There we go. Now we just need to get them two taken care of. And we got it. Let's go. Click, I can pull you, and I can afford to aim Amiya upward. Why is she not hitting? That's her range? Or is that counting them on that space? Oh, there she attacks. That was weird. Very weird. Beautiful. Beautiful. We don't need that heal anymore. Let's go. Haha. Now we'll run that strategy and try it on a regular run. Let's do it. We should be able to beat it and move on then. Let's do it. Here we go.
Don't worry. We'll be right back.
All right. We'll let her get that ready. Mountain here.
I'm ready.
Gather around, guys.
I did that. Okay. Medic.
There we
Yeah, she aims there to cover all that. We'll get Pookie out up here.
Solid positioning.
I'll show them what I can do.
Bruce out here to help her.
Sleep on the job. I have to get serious now.
You shouldn't have set foot here.
Turn that down. Click. Right here.
Don't be afraid. Please, come to your senses.
And once I'm done, we'll charge up a little bit here with Myrtle yet. And then I will switch her out and put Bubble.
Whew, almost dozed off.
Excuse me. Let's do that. Oh no! I took my Cruise out. Screw it. In that case, Ami is going there. I screwed that up, but
I'm right here, Doctor.
I didn't mean to click Cruise. I thought I clicked Bubble. Or Myrtle to put Bubble in. I'm an idiot.
One step backward.
Alright. Let's let it go and just keep an eye out on specials. Ami is definitely helping. She's chunking away better than what Cruise was.
The power of the earth.
I'm right here, Doctor. Here's someone. Please,
Them all healed up good.
Please.
Beautiful.
We'll pay for that.
Nice. Nice. We're looking good right now.
Freeze!
Looking real good. 17. 18, 19. About to be 20.
I'll show them what I can do.
This keeps up. I may not even have to switch Pookie out.
Binda, the power of the earth.
Keep that heal. Amiya, help. Keep him going. Bubble, you gotta keep him going too. Nice, we got it.
I'll show them
Let's
what
go.
I can do.
Let's go. Nice work.
I'll show them what I can do.
Let's go. Wunderbar. Baron Peter Lucas turns 73 this year. He inherited his title from his uncle 3 years ago. 6 months later, he moved to Carl Schmidt Street due to the expenses of maintaining the Lucas family spire. He enjoys Carl Schmidt's music, but hates the street. He finds the sunlight, the flowers, the youth's graffiti, and the jazz music coming from the nearby bar unbearable. He orders his servant to close the curtains, turns on the gramophone, and the room is immediately filled with the sound of cello. The Sancta was truly a talented musician, he thinks. So talented, he could almost forgive her for being Lateran. Almost. He plays 11 instruments, 10 of which he learned during the reign of the Witch King. To send the best melodies into the Genesis Spire, talented young musicians were put into a room and made to compose day and night. He loved the violinist, her delicate fingers, and the beauty mark on the edge of her palm. Tears flowed down his face when he visited Victoria for the first time and heard music from his homeland on the stage of the Royal Theatre. He kissed her for the first time. That was his elegant, dignified Leithanien. He misses it. Poof. Excuse me. Dinner's talking back to me. Trying to destroy houses and escape in the chaos, there is nowhere for you to hide before the golden melody. You're the last. Remove your mask and surrender to Leithanien, and you will be spared the pain of a burning soul. The pain is insignificant. Have you ever heard the Witch King's Reich Orchestra play? Black forests of Einwald, the lakes and ports of Fortsgard, and storms of Sturmland. Anything you can imagine about Leithanien you could feel in the melody. The Witch King did not interpret or conduct. He simply walked amongst them, and one of his musicians, you had to follow the guidance of his sight line and keep a tight pace with him. Fall out of line and you were ripped apart by the magnificent melody. The Witch King's favorite punishment for those too weak to serve him. But I kept up. I became part of that transcendent melody. Since then, I could no longer tolerate playing for the mediocre. What did you think you were? Interpreters or the great melody? Interpreters of the great melody. Ideal-driven revolutionaries? 9. All I see are criminals hiding behind masks, killing the innocence of Leithanien and undermining her peace and order. Clowns burying their faces in the embers of the Witch King. Your life belongs to the golden melody now. But I suppose you are already dead from the moment you gave up your free will and become the Witch King's vassal. And what about you then? Aren't you wearing a mask yourself? The arts you use, the golden melody, the light of Leithanien, passed down through generations of Geistesvachter. Those who guard the Guldennisgesetz. Are you not also a servant of the melody written by a greater will? Even the greatest individual will is nothing before Leithanien herself. Then, is it Leithanien's golden melody that pronounces my death sentences? My death sentence? Or you yourself? Is this your escape plan? Did you think the will of the Geistesvachter would waver before such cliches? Preposterous. Why would I need an escape plan? I was chosen to find you. The concertmaster wants to know what the events of 23 years ago echoed in your ears just now. When the events? Did you see Ernst von Hochberg, for whom help would never arrive in time? Or his brother Werner, who died in sorrow as the Kurfürst he never wanted to be? The Witch King cultist body turns to dust under the power of dual originium arts. Only her last words remain with the ashes. Brandt Reiner, you cannot avoid a choice forever. On that day, 23 years ago, Father didn't wait for Mother. They missed each other. Lucinda went to the spice market before coming to the studio that morning. She wanted to try a different incense, see if it would lift her spirits. She did not know that she was already with child. Mother went to Sturmland in the end. She loved you, and she loved Werner. She could not have raised you on her own if she'd stayed in Zwillingsturme. She knew that Werner had already gotten married, but she had no other choice. Father had a choice. 10 minutes. If Werner had waited another 10 minutes, he'd have met Lucinda and known that she was willing to face it all and fight by his side. He regretted those 10 minutes for the rest of his life. I know. He never told me, but I knew. A marigold and the moon. It was never meant to be. It was a dream that, upon waking, they knew to be beyond reach, words spoken only to comfort. Don't you blame your father? I can't. We're too alike. You told me that he aspired to be a poet, but he never once recited a poem in front of me. It was only after I returned to Leithanien that I realized Oh, excuse me. When someone no longer has the strength to face reality, the illusions that once brought hope now only bring pain. Now bring only pain. Oh my god. Viviana, you've been busy since your father's passing, shuttling from Sturmland to Zwillingsturme. All I want to say is, it's alright to express your sorrow. I just want to rest for a while. Just for a little while. Cora says no more. She closes the curtains before she leaves. The darkness wraps around Viviana like a familiar blanket. Cora knows her well, knows what brings her comfort. She gazes upon the paintings in the room, now covered in shadow, and the golden times depicted within gaze back at her. Oh my god. My reading right now is horrible. I'm like adding words and mixing. It's always bad, I know, but right now, I guess either I'm too tired or whatever. I'm having trouble again. Fortunately, the arts and that music didn't cause Viviana any real damage, but they brought back memories of Werner, as they did for us, and it must be even more painful for her. You're injured. I am? Oh, this wasn't from the battle. I might have bumped myself when I went downstairs chasing after Viviana. Why not try the therapeutic machine I brought back from Columbia? I didn't lose my eyesight yesterday, Brant. I've managed on my own for the past 20-some years. And you thought... You, though. Something's off with your voice. Were these enemies that tough? Ah, what an absurd notion. That's more like you. I wish you'd take off your helmet and catch your breath once in a while, though. Even the finest instrument succumbs to wear and tear when used non-stop. I don't deserve to rest. The Gendarmerie is on their way. They'll take it from here. You should leave before they arrive. Now? But we're so close to the truth. Leithanien has not fallen so far as to need to entrust her future to a blind instrument tuner and a retired competition knight. The cultists are looking for the Witch King's legacy. Frida and Loris were witnesses to that night. Werner, House Hochberg, was part of the coup as well. If they're killing witnesses to complete some sort of ritual, they'll be looking for their next target. Which is why you need to listen to me and stop your investigation. What about you, Brant? You were there on the day of the coup, too. I'm a guardian of Leithanien's will. A few Witch King worshippers won't get me. Besides, they laid an ambush for you here. You're the ones they're targeting. But how did they know we were coming? Could Viviana really be right? And Frida's paintings hold an important clue? I believe so. Reiner, please allow me to continue the investigation. I want to know what Frau Seaman left behind. You're holding the draft to her final work. Regret. The strongest emotion and desire that the painter had ever felt in her life. She spent her last days painting it over and over again. Through the strokes of her brush, she wanted to see the divine in her heart. You're saying those haphazard strokes were intentional? Yeah. It looks messy because she painted on the same sheet over and over again. The scene of the Witch King's death is still in the draft. Put the painting on the ground, Viviana. Okay. Brant, try to play it. Tell me when to stop. It's vibrating, like a musical instrument. Yeah. There are minute differences in each layer of paint. I can't see, but my arts allow me to hear the frequency of each layer. Almost there. Just remove the layer of paint above and we'll find the very first version. Do you see it? It's blurry, but I can tell that it's the interior of a spire. It's imposing. Witch King's spire. I imagine that even Frida could only paint a small part of it. Can you identify the figures in the painting? There is no Witch King. The throne is empty. Battle seems to be over. The painter herself, Frida Seaman, is behind the curtain. There's a Liberi soldier charging in from the hallway. Loris Borden? And, who's the Capernet holding an arts unit and cleaning up? Gerard Hoffman, one of the most talented casters in all of Einwald, formerly in service to House Urtica. He became a teacher after the Witch King's death. We were late. These lunatics don't care how many innocents they kill. You're injured. I can treat your wounds. Danke. Where's Baron Lucas? Is he upstairs? The Baron didn't make it. He'd been talking about moving for a while. We wouldn't have gotten caught up in all of this if we hadn't put in the plans. If we hadn't put the plans on hold just because of that Sancta cellist playing in the area. What did the performance sound like? Do you want to hear it? The Baron had me record it. I wonder if the gramophone's still alright. Huh. You actually found a clue. Loris Borden found it. Is it Arturia? Yes. I may not be able to recognize a live performance or not, but I would never mistake her playing. Aren't we in trouble then? No need to fear. There are no arts in the recording, and she isn't nearby. Someone broadcasted her performance on this street a few minutes ago. And her arts worked over such a large area? She must have accomplices. It would only be possible through a combination of Leithanien arts and her own. You can tell all that just from listening to this? This section here, it's not the sound of a cello, it's a pipe organ, and one of uncommon size. A huge pipe organ. It's an unusual instrument. Where might you find one in Zwillingsturme? Ludwig's Universitat. A school? Yeah. It used to be the Spire of Learning for House Urtica. Flash. Ebenholz. His head hurts. He has not felt such pain since he escaped Weisheim. When was the last time it hurt so much he wanted to scream, to vomit, to cry? It was... He could remember. He just didn't want to. Say something. Gloat, why don't you? You're on the cusp of victory. After I've kept you trapped in my head for so long. When I die, I hope I... Damn it. I sure hope I get a proper death. Unlike you, who's been dead long enough to crumble to dust, only to be pieced back together and brought back to life. What is he babbling about? You haven't started the ritual yet, have you? Not yet, Professor. It looks like he's in pain. Can he really take it? He's from Harkonshorn's bloodline. If he can't take even this much, then Uignod, however you say that, must have intentionally raised him to be useless. That's one of the ones I've had a lot of trouble figuring out how to pronounce. He's suffered much for his age. If he's unable to bear it, interrupting the performance of the voice of the mundane could cause the Genesis horn to go out of control and affect all of Ludwig. I'm here. The spire will hold. But you swore an oath to Her Majesty that you would not reveal the true extent of your powers. She'd have to answer to the nobles if the students learned of your identity. Ludwig's Universitat may be shut down, which would affect your relocation plans. And Ermi will give you an earful when she gets back to Leithanien. Bah! Keeping this boy alive is harder than summoning the Genesis horn. Where's Lessing? He's standing watch outside. He said to ensure that no one can enter before the ritual is complete. Pah! Nothing more than keeping his mind from being torn to pieces. Where's the device I made for those nutjobs in Bolivar? Are you alright? Huh. It's okay. They left the room. We met not long ago. Forest Park. Yeah, I wanted to warn you, but Lessing was there. I couldn't take you away with him watching. Lessing. He's not evil by nature, but he can be stubborn. I used to be like him too, but all it takes to change is courage. Yeah. Can you move? Try to grab my hand. What are you doing, Gerard? I'm sorry, Professor. I can't let you use Harkonshorn's bloodline like this. He's a living, breathing soul, one with a bright future. Spatial defense arts. I taught you those. You also taught me that even the most powerful arts cannot erase regret. I've caused a lot of harm with the arts you've taught me. But when I'm alone at night, I often ask myself, how many souls would have continued to shine brightly had I not done what I did? Would we be living in better times? Would the people around us have been better? Would we be better ourselves? That's why I gave up on being a spirecaster and became a scholar. What are you babbling about, Gerard? You're making a big mistake. Step away from the boy. A mistake? 9, Professor. I'm saving his life. I'm not going to miss my chance this time. I'm fixing the biggest mistake that you and I, that we ever made.
All enemies have been dealt with.
Let's go. Lots of rewards there. Let's take a moment and go back. Since this is a new day, another day, I've got some of these things to do real quick. I'll take a moment to do that. If I have the stuff to do it. Let me bring up my little chart here, and then we'll go through each of these and take a look and see. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have everything that we need. And there's my chart. Beautiful. All right, let's do this one. Voller, okay, he had red cheeks that may indicate a drinking problem, though his wife claims he stopped drinking a long time ago. I don't expect him to have a good temper. Voller is a sausage vendor in Vineshaft. His wife claims he witnessed the alligators causing noise around the concert, but he himself was reluctant to be interviewed. Herr Voller, could you tell me again what you witnessed? Like I said, I was flipping sausages when the noise started and saw a suspicious figure sneaking into the alley. I'm certain it's one of those lunatics who worship the twisted horns. They're always causing trouble, and it's hurting my sausage sales. His gaze is drifting, and he keeps tapping his palm with a finger. He is lying. What kind of noise was it? Could you describe it? What else could it be? Screeching cacophony? My ears have been defiled. It's an insult to music. It ruined the performance. An ambiguous description. His customers reported that he was alone at his stall that day and closed early. He was witnessed dancing to music by the stall, a few empty beer cans lying on the ground nearby. So he was drinking. I believe your wife was away from Zwillingsturme on that day. How is your relationship with your wife? My wife? Why do you ask? Great, I love her. She cares for me a lot. She can be a little strict at times, yes, but that's a good thing for the family, isn't it? Hey, what does that have to do with you anyway? Shouldn't you be looking for the culprits? At the time of the incident, the subject had stopped drinking under the watchful eye of his wife. However, on the night of the incident, he was observed to be heavily drunk at his stall. He wasn't angry about anything. He wasn't sorrowful and he wasn't afraid. He was dancing and he was drinking. So you would almost like have to have the joy, pleasure, hope, nervousness, ecstasy, or agitation. He seemed to be agitated, doing the tapping thing and lying. So maybe joy and agitation, which would be yellow, red, red. Do I have the yellow, red, red? Desire for worldly things, maybe, because of the alcohol. Maybe. Let's give that one a try. Haha, let's go. The music of the heart sounds, resonating with the heartstrings and the subject and bringing back memories. The melody reveals that you were enjoying a drink, or maybe a dozen drinks, that night while your wife was away. Do you recall it now? Alright, a friend gave me a case of Ernstheim beer. You know, I just couldn't take it down. When that ominous sound began, I knocked the case over and didn't hear anything. Herr Voller's wife angrily dragged him away by his ear. No useful information was garnered from him, and this line of investigation was closed. Okay. Perhaps regret and worldly desire. Which one was that? Regret. So... blue, green, green. That's sorrow. And I don't have green, which is fear. So I can't really do that one. Alright, let's do this one. Kristen is a Gendarmerie squad commander stationed at Fort Schritzoff. She is regarded as a highly competent and slated for promotion very soon. Soon after I began my investigation in Fortschrift, she found me and demanded that I stop my investigation. She was responsible for security on that day, and I did not reveal my true identity in order to find out what her true goal was. Okay, thank you for the kind advice, but I've spent time and effort on this. I deserve to know what I'm facing, at least, don't you think? I'm not allowed to talk to you about it. All I can tell you is that this isn't something you should poke your nose into. It's for your own good. While these incidents have garnered public attention, a few rank-and-file officers of the law know their true significance. Was she trying to appeal to my empathy with sincerity? Perhaps I could ride along. Well, I've had some progress in my investigation, and it's true that there seems to be something dangerous involved. For example, I'm sure you noticed the smell at the scene. Smell? Well, you've gotten pretty far. You're better than I thought, which is why you ought to understand my warning. She reacted quickly, but I made up the smell thing on the spot. She was not at the scene when the incident occurred. One more little thing. All indications are pointing towards someone inside the Gendarmerie. After all, security was heightened that day. That's just an unsubstantiated hypothesis. This has nothing to do with the Gendarmerie. The noise was because, what do you know? Spit it out or I'll force it out of you. At the time of the incident, the subject was away from her post without permission. The sudden noise made her panic. Or she worried about her career. Or could it be? Is there anything that would be panic? Oh, excuse me. Panic. Maybe fear and concern. Which again, I don't have that, so I don't have fear. I'd have to compose something with fear, I think, to get that one. Alright. After I asked my first question, he continued fiddling with his arts equipment, did not answer. Okay. An unidentified caster was seen at a concert in Bashoff, leaving the scene in a hurry when the noise broke out. He was suspected of instigating many arts-related disturbances in the past. Many citizens reported him as the instigator of this incident. Maybe you didn't hear my question. Let me repeat myself. What were you doing at the time of the incident? I heard you. It wasn't me. He fell silent again as soon as he finished speaking. I had no other leads, so I could only keep asking. You know who I could act on behalf of. You know who I act on behalf of. You're just as obligated to answer my questions as if you were in the Spire. Perhaps now you'd be willing to talk about why you were at the performance. That being the case, you should also know where my own loyalties lie in the Spire, so no comment. He's extremely tight-lipped and I can't get any useful information out of him. Just as I am about to leave, I notice something behind a stack of books on the bookshelf. It seems to be a figure of a certain Colombian rock star. The creative aesthetics of conjuration arts. You seem to have a number of illuminating books here, and I find myself rather interested in. Mind if I borrow a copy or two? Wait, hold on, don't touch anything. Come on, I'll answer your questions about the music that day. During the performance, I showed up late because I was dealing with some important matters, and by the time I got there, anyways, the situation there wasn't what I was expecting at all. Just as I was getting ready to leave, I heard that terrible noise. At the time of the incident, the subject of the interview was leaving angrily because the concert wasn't what he expected. It is reported that the rock concert originally scheduled for that day was swapped out last minute for a classical music performance. Okay, so he's obviously angry. Maybe annoyance, which I would have to have fear for, which is green. Resentment. No, he's not really not fearless. Not vigilance. He's not wrathful. So it's probably annoyance, so I need fear for him too. Damn it. I need fear for all three of these to be able to continue composing. So, darn. Alrighty. Let's just continue then. We'll continue with the story. Turn my little fan on here. Okay. There we go. Okay. We shall continue. Motivated student. Sorry, Frau Giallo. I made another mistake. Why did you stop?
I don't think I played the last bar on the last line very well. Your heart is in the right place. Don't let yourself be bound by the melody. Instead, guide it with your will. I can't help but think about what I did wrong, though. Then don't hold yourself back. Music is the voice of your heart. It's a language to express yourself with. If you let yourself be caught up in the grammar before learning how to speak, then language itself loses all meaning. Your embarrassment, your self-doubt, and your thirst for the future, they're all real, so let them live in the sound of your instrument. But that's not what my arts professor said. He said that originium arts is a rigorous field of study, that it's about uncovering the order within chaos, like putting together a mess of unrelated notes to form a beautiful chord. But I'm having too many distracted thoughts and my sound is all over the place. That's why I can't control the energy of my arts well. I taught another student just like you before. He was reserved, shy, and not very good at expressing himself. What happened to him? He became a very brave man. A shame that he couldn't live longer. Live the longer, more beautiful life I'd hoped he would. But I was fortunate enough to hear his last performance. The cry of his instrument was hardly inferior to the famed musician with whom he shared a surname. Oh? Was he the descendant of someone famous? Herkamshorn. Have you heard his work? Who did you just say? People often call him the Witch King. That Witch King? People hardly ever call him by name. Really? But to me, he was first and foremost a musician. Everyone said he stopped performing with regular instruments toward the end of his life. His music... No, you could hardly call that music. They say it instilled fear in anyone who heard it. True, his rhythm was in no way harmonious. Every last measure far exceeded what his audience imagined based on the previous one. But I'd never felt such a strong will. You really shouldn't talk about this on campus. I heard the Empress's voice and the Gendarmerie keep a close eye on Ludwig's Universitat. You'd be in deep trouble if they were to catch wind of it. You should return to your dorm. Keep practicing this piece. No matter what commotion you may hear outside, focus only on your own rhythm. Artoria. So it's you. You're here to speak to me personally. Then I take it the show is about to begin. Almost. Our guests are arriving as they should, one by one. Will you be performing everything that will happen today for me, just like you used to? I'd like to be present when the melody begins. You wish to listen from beginning to end. I'm afraid that would be a very long piece. A lot of people will be hurt today. Some will even die. They will be sacrificed because of me, and I cannot allow myself to look away. Even though it hurts so much, you're far more determined than anyone. When my performance reaches the end of your life, what will I see? Who keeps talking to her from sculptures? Ludwig's Universitat. I've seen the name in more than a few books I've read, most recently in a leading publication on originium arts theory. But the name comes up as early as ancient scrolls engraved with secret arts. The crest of that university shines brilliantly in the history of Leithanien's arts. It's merely a variant of the Ertica family crest. But it remains Leithanien's oldest university. Once, I used to fantasize about life on a campus like this. Walking through a campus covered with red leaves, surrounded by friends of similar ages, with an endless buffet of books and literature in the library. Every day must be fulfilling here. With their Majesty's permission, you are free to enroll in any school in Leithanien. Oh? Have you noticed the eyes of the students walking around us? Their thirst for knowledge is enough for them to forget the divide between their upbringings. Yet before Kurfürst Ludwig chose to make his spire a university, all knowledge was locked away by decree. So, how can I bring myself to use that very same authority to pollute such unique purity once more? The Gendarmerie? Your so-called purity has never really existed. Did you summon them here? I wouldn't need to. The eyes up on the spires have never looked away from Leithanien's lands. and especially not from here. Before you lies the oldest spire in the Urtica territory. The Witch King stayed in it for a decade, and often returned even after his coronation. The campus may seem peaceful from the outside, but every centimeter of this place can be traced back to the Witch King, and that includes the man we're looking for. Herr Gerard Hoffman, 9. We'll find his teacher first. He's the one most familiar with Ludwig's Universitat. Since the era of the Witch King, no. Since an even more distant past, he's never left this school's most ancient spire. Fremont. Why are there so many gendarmes on campus? You said earlier that I was a wanted criminal. You think they're here for you? No way. Besides, we've been very careful on the way. There's no way we got their attention. Quick, find a place to hide. Team 5, Team 6, move up. Team 4, search the whole spire. Do not let any suspicious characters through. Stop! You can't just run around and use arts like you own the place! This is a university! A lot of research we do here requires a stable environment! Even the slightest disturbance could cause irreversible damage to the sophisticated equipment and the complicated arts that have been cast! Seize him! Why? I didn't break any laws! Your name? Louis Schnitzler! You haven't answered my question! The Schnitzler's a forced guard? Take him to the classrooms. I don't understand. Keep searching. Take any commoners to the courtyard and lock the nobles in the classrooms. Take control of anyone and anything related to House Urtica. I'm only a Schnitzler by name. My father didn't even inherit the title. What gives you the right to do all this over something that happened decades ago? Because we're investigating what happened decades ago. Young Herr Schnitzler, as long as you behave yourself, I assure you nothing will happen to you. My family will be participating in the celebration soon. I'm going to have an audience with their majesties. Ludwig's Universitat is the most historic university in Leithanien. Not even the Kaiserinen's armies dared damage a single brick of the spire 23 years ago. What gives you the right to trample on knowledge and the arts, on Leithanien's traditions? The Kaiserinen's orders, young Herr. The culprit who murdered our commander is hiding in this school. If you want to protect it, then tell all your classmates that they'd better report anything they know about a strange sancta and the Witch King's remains. The Kaiserinen's orders? No way. You seem surprised. Surprised? No, I'm just an idiot. Given her personality and disposition, how could I have thought she'd keep herself at arm's length? I can't waste time chasing after Artoria anymore. I thought she was the target of your mission too. Only part of it. My client wants to understand the reasoning behind her actions in order to prevent her from getting in the way of our plans. But now there's a bigger problem. I can't let this ruin the plan itself. I have no further questions. As you are Leithanien, I will not be required to execute your will. Forget it. Not like I was expecting anything resembling a goodbye from you. Her executor, the case Arturia is involved in is far more serious than you could ever imagine. Even your Pope has no right to interfere. Here's some advice. Abandon your mission before the Gendarmerie make it here. Leave Zwillingsturme. I've completed my assessment. Abandoning this mission is not an option. We've arrived, Drost. You'd best wait outside. I sense no danger. Don't move. What? You're blocking my pipe. Yes, the one puffing out smoke to your left. If you move, I can't guarantee that your left hand will remain after the smoke ring passes. You use a smoking pipe as a wand? This, a wand? Don't be ridiculous. I smoke to relax. Who'd want to think about serious matters while smoking? I simply wanted to run an experiment and see if the smoke ring could float all the way to the top of the Twin Sheep Spire. We're here because we have important matters to discuss, Herr Fremont. What a killjoy, Reiner. If only you were as well behaved as the lovely little doe next to you. I'd also be interested in seeing if a smoke ring could float for dozens of kilometers. No, distance isn't the important factor. What matters is not being blinded by that uselessly shiny armor of yours. All right, so you've ruined my mood. Now tell me, what is it, the gloomy sheep or the boastful sheep that asked you to come find me? Was it the gloomy sheep or the boastful sheep? What is it? I cannot talk. So you're telling me a copy of the Guldennisgeschatz was lost, the one stored in Sturmwind. Do we pay you to sit around all day? You're the Geschertsvachter, and you can't even keep an eye on the Guldennisgeschatz. What good is that fancy getup of yours, other than being hung from the top of the spires as an ornament? Seriously, that Grimmacht, it's safer to keep it far away from the center of a whirlpool. Apparently, some of your idiocy rubbed off on her. Maybe the bigger your horns, the stupider you get. Don't get me started with that punk in Sturmwind. Honors vow with his life, like hell he did. Kurfürst has passed. Before you stands his daughter. It's a pleasure. My condolences if you want them, but that doesn't change the fact that this whole farce is the height of absurdity. Especially the fact that Grimmacht waited until now to tell me. Is the stolen Guldennisgeschatz really so special? 23 years ago, when Kurfürst Werner returned from Zwillingsturm to Sturmland, he had it on his person. Aside from the Kaisernen and the Kurfürsten, no one wanted to be near it. My guess is that, like many of the arts devices from the era of the Witch King, his arts still remain in it. The Witch King's arts! The Witch King's arts! The entrance of Ludwig's Universitat has that fool's arts too. They could have all the armors lining the streets start breakdancing right this moment. But is there a point? Did Grimmacht never mention it? Those are no formal, frivolous arts. They're arts devices that Herkamschorn himself spent his life developing, all to defeat his greatest foe. The Witch King's greatest foe? Do you mean Corsica, one of Gaul? A mere emperor leading a mere army. Do you really think transient might like that would have meant a thing to Herkamschorn in his heyday? The enemy he defeated all those years ago was the will of Leithanien, the Guldennisgeschatz. Apparently you aren't a complete moron. Ever since the birth of the Leithanien Empire, the Guldennisgeschatz has changed only once. All on his own, Herkamschorn issued a challenge to Leithanien's forebears, as well as to all the arts masters who put their energy into composing the Guldennisgeschatz. Excuse me. How do you feel? My head. It doesn't hurt as much anymore. I'm afraid normal healing arts won't help you very much. Your pain isn't caused by physical injuries. I know. There's an evil old fart shouting my ear off, that's all. You can actually hear him speak? Occasionally. That must be unbearable. Like his melodies, the Witch King's voice holds a power that is difficult to endure. If he wanted, he could kill a man simply by humming. You've met him? My teacher, Herr Fremont, was once the Witch King's closest friend. When he sat atop the Witch King's spire, there were once thousands of casters prostrating themselves before the steps to the throne, and I was one of them. So you're also... Ugh! Is your head hurting again? Don't worry, I betrayed him in the end. I joined the resistance and charged into the spire under Grimmacht and Uegnod's leadership. That day, the steps I once kneeled before were redder than even the leaves in Ludwig's Universitat's campus. It must have been a difficult battle. For every 10 companions I fought beside, only one survived. Every last one of us was amongst the most capable in the country. If they had been as fortunate as me, they would have gone on to become more outstanding scholars, even greater casters. No wonder you visited Forest Park that day. I should salute you and those who sacrificed their lives. Don't waste your great strength. I'm not worth it. If it hurts, though, feel free to lean on me. Let him go. Lessing. I knew you'd come after us. Where's Professor Fremont? He's very disappointed in you. I'm sorry, Lessing. I don't want to hurt you, nor do I want to make an enemy of my dear teacher. Then why stop us? The Genesis Horn should not arrive like this. We're not pursuing any evil causes. We're simply retrieving what belongs to us and destroying what hinders us. You know that. The Witch King's relics. Who do they belong to, and who decides that? You're a smart fellow, Lessing, and an honest one. You should think about these things, lest you regret all this in 20 or 30 years. I see you as my favorite student, which is why I don't want to see you make the same mistakes. I once saw you as a dear mentor too. I still remember. You weren't even half as tall as you are now when Professor Fremont handed that sword to you. Yet in the blink of an eye, you're as old as I was when I stormed the Witch King's spire. In school, time really does fly by, doesn't it? My fear is that not enough time has passed, that I'm not strong or worthy enough to raise my sword for those I want to protect. I'm your target, remnant of the Witch King, and I only have one thing to say to you. Get out of my way! Classes are almost over. Come, this way! Meyer, what are you doing standing here? Not auditing any lectures today? Ahem. Why are you holding a sword in the school building? You really love training, don't you? He chose this path on purpose. Have you heard? A large group of Gendorms barged into the school today. They're searching everyone they're coming across, especially commoners from the Urtica territory. Hold on, why are you running so fast, even up the stairs? The school administrator doesn't allow that. Administration. Are you okay? Why waste your strength on me? I'm much older than you. I should be the one protecting you. Well, I'm the one he's after. Besides, I don't want to see any more blood spilled on my account. Considering Lessing's abilities and temperament, he'll catch up to us soon. We need to take a safer route. Are we inside a school? Ludwig's Universitat. You're one of the Urtica bloodline. If the Witch King hadn't fallen when you were born, you would have studied arts here. I really wished I weren't. The Urticas have produced more than one Leithanien ruler, aside from Herkamshorn and the other Kaisers. Ludwig, known as the Scholar, he was the Kurfürst of Einwald, and he too almost became the Kaiser of Leithanien. And he was also your ancestor. He wanted everyone to gain the most supreme knowledge so that the land would never again impede Leithanien. When he insisted on opening up his family spire to all of Einwald's citizens, many thought he'd gone mad. Mad? I suppose a lot of our family get called that. Madness goes hand in hand with greatness. This has always been the way of House Urtica. Even the Witch King was a benevolent ruler of unsurpassed talent before he succumbed to his madness. Succumbing to madness has far more frightening connotations than when it happens to a tyrant rather than a commoner. If that's another Urtica tradition, then I'll have to find somewhere to bleed out before it happens to me. From the moment I laid eyes on you, I saw the bravery in you. But your life is precious, and self-destruction has never been the only open path to you. The only path open to you, I reversed that. Franz? May I call you Franz? You know the name I threw away. You will never be alone again. Let me help you. Gerard Hoffman. Of all my students, he's the one who knows best what the Goldenisgeschatz really is. If only he were here, then I wouldn't need to waste my energy explaining all this. How did you know our purpose here? Purpose? The Witch King's remnant remains killed my father, as well as 2 more who participated in the coup 23 years ago. We suspect that their next target is Herr Hoffman. Oh, you came at just the right time then. Just 15 minutes ago. Wait, what did you just say? Gerard is involved with the Witch King's remains? The same remains that experimented on Herkamshorn's great-grandson simply to blow up a dime a dozen music hall? I suppose so. They may not be the exact same group, but they're working under a similar banner. But how do you know so much about even the finest details of the Weisheim incident? This energy fluctuation. It's a sign that arts were cast to maintain a structural integrity here. The same kind of arts used by Einwald's caster army. Don't mistake my arts for their child's play. Forget the Einwald of today. Even the Herkamshorn was still around. I was the one who taught all his lackeys their spatial arts. Stand back, Drost. Why are you reaching for your blade? Stay away from my instruments. It's been centuries since the spire was last repaired, and it can't withstand being knocked around.
Herr Fremont, is the experiment you were just conducting related to the voice of the mundane? Here we go.
The hunt begins. Not one step backward. I'm listening.
Okay, we're gonna protect similar fashion to before.
I'm here to help.
We'll let Myrtle handle that for a moment.
Here I am. There
We'll
we
try
go.
this.
Take aim.
Okay, that's fine.
Skill.
That's gonna hurt Red, but let's slow them down for a moment.
There are the enemies.
Ooh, she's gonna get hurt real bad here. Okay, that was kind of pointless. Let's use her to take that guy out real quick. I'll pull Red now.
Please come to your senses.
This is not good. This is not working right. Not how I wanted to, at least.
Skill.
Red can help for a moment there. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. Myrtle, fight. Okay. Click. Alright, 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 alright. We're good. We're good for now.
Please come to your senses.
Oh my, this sucks. Okay. Or not, no, I don't. You know what? Screw it. We'll put Pookie there.
Positioning.
We'll let her be there.
Backward. You'll pay for that.
Okay. Those are cleared out there. Okay, 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 okay.
Roger.
Show me what you got there.
Don't be afraid. We'll heal that wound in no time. No way out for you.
Oh, no, 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 no! No way! No freaking way!
here to help.
That's garbage!
Show me what you got there.
Speed. Strike them.
Wow! That is bull! I got everybody until the final 3? Huh. See, I had Cruz on the bottom. I wonder if I don't put her down there. Let's try that again. That wasn't bad. To get all the way to the end, that wasn't a bad move. But I need more casting power to work that far side.
People, I don't think I'll even remember your faces
I
after
like having
this
Jessica
one.
there. That worked nicely.
Anyway, let's just get started.
Put him here.
I'll show them what I can do.
Wish I had blocks here.
There are
We'll
the
put
enemies.
there. We'll let her, because she can handle that.
You'll pay for that.
We'll put her here, because she works good.
Speed. No
Red,
way out
attack.
for you. I won't sleep on the power of the earth.
Okay, that was kind of pointless. Myrtle, fight them for a second. Whoa! Oh, because I didn't have that. That was my fault. I didn't have that to slow them down. So that was my fault completely. I wasn't paying attention to that. Okay. Okay, so that's why I need Cruz on the bottom. At least temporarily. I can retreat her.
Stay focused. Look straight ahead.
and Myrtle in the middle to be able to
You'll pay for
attack that.
I'm listening. Good cedar, freeze!
Okay, and we put Mountain in there. Alright, so we have them resonated.
One step backward.
Alright, so we get
I have to get serious now.
her
There we
here.
Go. Freeze!
There are the enemies.
Freeze!
Keep them slower.
Speed.
There you are.
Simple and clear.
Sure.
Click.
Doctor, please come to your senses.
Alright, so we got them all slowed down, which is
But
wonderful.
shouldn't have set foot here.
I should target top lane with Amiya, maybe?
Freeze! Not one step backward.
Skill.
Read there for a moment. Just to give a little bit of a helping hand.
Pay for that.
Solid positioning.
Freeze!
Okay.
Here.
So far, we're handling them okay, but that last group on the bottom was horrifyingly annoying. We'll put Bubble there.
Freeze!
But the battle, you shouldn't have set foot here.
Doctor, please come to your senses.
Well, that's gonna be maybe pointless putting Amiya there.
I'm right here, Doctor. You'll pay for that.
This is gonna do me anything. Nope. I should slow them down for a moment though.
Is in my
With red. At least slow those first two. Or maybe I should be slowing somebody in the backhand. Here,
Cedar
let's slow
here,
these
Doctor.
last ones. Even though, well, that didn't really do much of anything.
Pay for that.
Come on, take that one down already. Okay. Bubble is getting just destroyed. Why is everybody getting trounced here?
Standing by.
光がこの地を守り抜く。
These guys
Don't be
suck.
afraid. Don't be afraid. Heal that
All
wound in
together.
no time.
They are terrible. I cannot beat them. Why? Is it because of this?
Speed or death is in my
That's probably it. That's wow. Huh.
Requesting medevac. I dragged everyone down. It's all my fault. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's see something. Enemy info. After 2 attacks, the next attack deals splash damage to all targets in range. Attack range increases when passionate variation is active, so their range gets higher. They're not really resistant, or their resistance to element is low. They have low attack and HP, but they're...
They have high resistance overall to regular attack. We'll try a practice thing here, just because I wanna try a few things. Excuse me.
The hunt begins.
I wonder if we do it. Nah, because she's better that way.
I'll show them what I can do. I'm here to help. I won't sleep on the job. Not one step backward.
Okay, Mountain's gotta go there.
Not one step backward. I have to get serious now. Skill. There you are. Let's take it slow.
Let's do her there. She'll attack everybody around. I think we're good. Why don't we do this?
Doctor, I can heal that wound in no time. The power of the earth. Skill.
Put Red there to help out for just a moment. Keep using her up a lot. Myrtle, fight. For just a moment.
I'm lit. Doctor, please come to your senses. Doctor, I'll show them what I can do.
You'll have to try harder than that. What's the battle plan? This ends here.
I'll show them what I can do.
That's just to screw them up. Wow, and that didn't even work.
Speed, no way out for you.
Slowed them down. And that was working, kind of.
光がこの地を守り抜く。
See,
I'm listening. Doctor, I can heal that wound in no time.
I don't know how to take care of those. I really don't know how to take care of them ones.
Sorry. I'll fight harder next time.
All right, let's try this one again. I just watched a little bit of a strategy video again, just to kind of get me some placement. Just a little bit of operator placement here. See, my strategy wasn't too bad. I wasn't doing anything too crazy that was way off, but just where I was placing my operators wasn't the greatest. So I have some things here, some ways to use what I've got. Let's hold off on him for now. All right, we're putting click in, so we still have a caster down here. I was right to have a caster. We're gonna get medic in.
There we go. Freeze!
We'll just let them beat the hell out of them. Let's slow that down. Okay. Now I change it up from their strategy by putting her in. I want to get Pookie on down here, and then we'll get a defender.
You'll pay for that. Hiyo! Don't be afraid. We'll heal that wound in no time. Not one step backward.
Speed it up a little bit. Okay, and then we'll slow it again.
Linda, you shouldn't have
Try that. We're gonna put Blemish on in the back just in case we need. But usually he should be good enough probably for me here. Guess we could speed it up a little bit more. Just to deal with them a little bit quicker here. Whoa, who did I lose? Oh, I lost her. That's alright. She's just
I'll show them what I can do.
she's just an extra there. I didn't really need her, but she helped a little bit.
No time.
Speed it up. We're gonna get that full. Okay. Now it was like timing with this and where I placed my operators are what made it good for me here. Now that they're together, we'll slow it down again. We've already got one of them dead, which helps. And this one's halfway, so now we're in golden shape.
I'm right here, Doc. Right here, someone.
See, sometimes that's all it is just little adjustments, placement of my operators. And that's how we get through these. I screw up my placement so badly. It's not always who you put out there, it's how you position them in order to get the most out of them when attacking and when fighting. And sometimes that's why I end up watching some strategy just to see if I could figure out placement. Because to be honest, I struggled on my main account with a freaking powerhouse team. I struggled on my main account with the final boss of this event, right? And basically, that final boss, excuse me, it was really, really difficult, but I was kind of doing some right things when I was trying it by myself, but when it boiled down to it, it was just a placement issue. I was spreading my operators out too thin, and it was causing me trouble to actually get through even the first phase of the boss. Once I pulled them together in more of a tight-knit location, boom, I stacked them together, and it was a piece of cake. I had no problem from then on, so it is what it is. But let's go ahead and finish this up here. Quick, upstairs. I heard from a student just now. The Sancta we're looking for is hiding here. This is why I appreciate too why some people put out the low-end squad like tutorials for beating some of these stages, because like it makes me feel a little more confident that even with a squad that's not the greatest and not the strongest, I can still beat some of these stages at least. So just as long as I have that placement, and if I can't figure it out myself, we'll give it a few tries, we'll take a look, and then we'll reposition our operators and see if it works similar. A pipe organ. The entire spire is designed in the shape of an enormous pipe organ. It matches the distinguishing characteristics of the background sounds in the cello piece we heard earlier. There's a very high chance that the wanted criminal Artoria is hiding here. Strange voice from a sculpture. Will you keep going up? Originium arts that use sculptures to synchronize voices. Very same kind I heard at the site of the attack at Carl Schmidt Street. Schmidt Street. So you started working with the Witch King's remains after all, Artoria. If I told you, I never cared who they were, and I had no interest in Leithanien's political turmoil, would you believe me? The resentment of individuals has never been a motive for your crimes, and I see power struggles and profit as even less likely candidates. Oh, Federico, you really do know me better than anyone. Everyone else's minds are tainted with thoughts, while you, boring as you are, you and I are alike. All these years, I've walked amidst chaos simply to find an even stronger soul. This journey was no different. I simply accepted the invitation of a few Leithanien acquaintances.
That's the only reason for my visit. Even without my assurances, you should already know in your heart that no matter what becomes of Leithanien tomorrow, it will have no immediate effect on Laterano. Perhaps. Then, can I ask you the same thing that the Lupo boy did? That you ignore what you see here? You're upstairs. You guessed right. I suppose I could give you a reward and let you see me. How about this? Once my wish comes true, I'll be waiting for you at the city gates on the day I leave Zwillingsturme. When the time comes, you still want me to go back to Laterano with you? I promise you I'll think about it. An arrest is not a request. You do not have the right to think about it. My lovely baby brother, you really don't know when to give up. Target spotted! It's the Sancta who's at the scene of Captain Borden's murder. Everyone surround Sonata Spire immediately. They still think he's the one that did it. The suspect didn't stop. He ran upstairs. After him. One floor after another, Leithanien spires are always so tall. There are more and more pursuers by the second. Shoes of various ages step on the stairs, each producing a different sound. The pipes that form the spire's walls are vibrating even more powerfully now. The sound of the organ and the footsteps blend together to form a unique piece, with the squads meandering up the spiral staircase as the performers. At the front, Federico maintains a steady pace through the entire process. Even his heart rate remains unchanged. His eyes do not see any of the pursuing soldiers. All he can see is the target before him. A decade has passed, but as though only a day has gone by, nothing has changed. The last floor. By leaping past the few dozen steps before him, he will reach his target. Don't move! You Sancta! Don't tell me you can actually fly! How fast can you run? Good thing the students told me about another shortcut up here. I'm beat. I don't care how amazing you are. If you take another step, I'm taking you down. So what will you do? Will you declare war on the Leithanien Gendarmerie? They, too, are enforcers of law, much like your countless co-workers at the Notarial Hall. However, unlike you, they hesitate before plunging themselves into battle. They feel fear. When you charge ahead in pursuit of your target, with no regard for anything else, do you lay eyes on these ordinary men and women for even a moment? What's that sound? Is somebody talking to you? Are they your buddy? You have friends here, don't you? Did you lure us into an ambush? She's not my friend, but I am a fellow Sancta. We both have the same halos above our heads and the same wings on our back. We're even related by blood. How will you persuade them that you came all this way not to aid me, but to arrest me? The misunderstandings of others have never been a reason to waver. My teammates will be here soon. You won't get away. Surrender. Approach those who misunderstand you and end this pointless pursuit. Clearly explain your position and motives to them, and then accept the fact that you have failed once again. You're right in front of me. I have unearthed evidence of your arts. Drop all your weapons, back away from the talking sculpture. I ask that you please calm down. I am not your enemy. That's what all smooth-talking criminals say. I trust nothing but my eyes and my arts unit. You'll pay for what you did to Captain Borden, Sancta. I was not responsible for Loris Borden's death. Quick dodge. They're already under the thumb of their most irrational emotions. Your music is affecting everyone in the area. Excuse me. Is this really my doing? Perhaps this is what they've always wanted, deep down. I told you long ago, much like our society, most people's minds are filled with chaos. You ignore this fact. The only thing on your mind is to sidestep the chaos and find the most efficient shortcut to resolving the issue at hand. Poor Federico. Have you still not noticed why you've never managed to catch me, even though you've pursued me all these years? How is a man who's sealed off his own perceptions, unwilling to touch the chaos, supposed to reach chaos itself? That doesn't concern me, and you are not chaos itself. You are a criminal, and your actions beget chaos, which is why you must be stopped. Like right now. I have you now, Arturia. Federico raises his gun. The bullet pierces the speaking sculpture opposite him and continues in a straight path until it shatters the wall. The black-haired Sancta is standing on a balcony not far away with her back facing the setting sun and a bow in her hand. She smiles faintly.
Meanwhile, beam after beam of arts lights finally reach the executor. What's going on? I just saw a bunch of Gendarmerie surrounding Sonata Spire. Haven't you heard? It's the Witch King's remains. They're hiding among us in the school. Researching arts used to hurt people. It's so scary. How come none of us ever noticed? I don't believe it. How can you be sure they aren't lying? Their majesties have long seen the school as a thorn in their side. It's probably an excuse to destroy Ludwig's Universitat. How dare you doubt their majesties? Oh, I get it. You're under the Witch King's remains influence yourself, aren't you? No, you might even be the one who led them here in the first place. You're one of them. How could you slander me like that? We've shared a room ever since we started school. I even took you to my family's villa by the lake every summer. Ha! Then how many of your family's fine possessions in that villa were rewards from the Witch King? Like that set of arch crystals in the basement used to observe catastrophes. They were refined from the ashes of the infected, weren't they? What did you just... Defame me all you like, but don't you dare drag my grandmother into this. She was the greatest catastrophe scholar in Einwald, and she died for Leithanien on the northern Sturmland battlefield. My eyes! I'm reporting you and your family to the Gendarmerie in the Empress's voice! You wretched Witch King's remnant! What does that make you? An idiot who crawled your way here by clutching the hems of the Twin Empress's dresses. If your family didn't so happen to have been on the right side, the lot of you still would be boatmen. Would still be boatmen ferrying the nobles. What do you even know? Did you ever learn to truly respect knowledge? You don't even know which instruments to use for different occasions. Of course, I always knew you looked down on me. Come on, fight me! And there's Lessing. What are you doing protecting him, Mayor? Your family used to serve the nobles too. Aren't you itching to take the chance to beat up these haughty snobs? The university forbids originium arts duels between students. When a pack of wild beasts gains knowledge, that doesn't mean they've become civilized. All they've learned is how to use it to hide their fangs. We should probably be ridding ourselves of this brutish rabble. They'll only tarnish the elegance and values of Ludwig's Universitat. Shut up. We worked for centuries to earn the right for commoners and nobles to sit in one classroom together. Neither Ludwig's Universitat or society as a whole should regress. Out of the way, Meyer, or you're my enemy too. Ha! You aren't much better than him, Meyer. The old fart who raised you has been stinking up the place longer than anyone else, hasn't he? I heard he's lived for hundreds of years, and he keeps extending his life with the bones of the dead. Maybe he put you together from bones too. I've also heard rumors. They say even the twins were molded by Fremont with his witchcraft. Nonsense. Fremont and the Witch King were the best of friends. I bet he's the leader of the Witch King's remains. Both of you should get some rest. His long sword, wrapped in cloth, blocks the arts flying toward him from both sides. Lessing single-handedly stops both of them. He then lifts his head to find even more beams of arts flung toward one another. Firelight, ice crystals, strange energy balls, frenzied flower beds, and upside-down fountains. Every spell ever taught in lectures is now interwoven with one another, all at once. There's a thunderous rumble. A golem running around is knocked over a roadside. Ludwig's Universitat. The shining school's crest falls into a cloud of dust. I'm really getting on in years. It's only been such a short distance, yet it feels as though I've climbed hundreds of steps. I think I heard the sounds of a fight above ground. Are the Witch King's remnants fighting with those from the university? You're too weak. Leave the war to the others for now. But suppose this war started because of me. I'd have no reason to hide. You feel guilty. That's only natural. Fate chose you over the others to live, and that is not necessarily a mercy. I know better than anyone how that feels. Have you experienced a similar suffering? I was gravely injured during the final battle and spent the better part of a year in a confused state. It was Professor Fremont who spent the time and effort to cure me. That day, when I finally woke up from my nightmare of being bound to those blood-red steps, the first thought that had entered my mind was that my classmates, my friends, and even my lover were all gone. In my despair, I climbed to the top of Sonata Spire, wishing to leap from it. He found me up there, and I asked him, "Is everything I did for Leithanien truly meaningful?" What happened next? Did you find the meaning you sought? He gave me a number of books on the Gildenischatz. He told me that whatever I can't answer my own questions, history can. So I started studying the Gildenischatz, how Leithanien came to be, and the direction it should go. I researched these topics for 20 years. And what answer did you come to? The problems facing Leithanien have always existed, ever since the birth of the Gildenischatz. The cultural differences between the tribes, the rift between nobles and commoners, etc. All these have existed for over 1,000 years. History has proven how difficult it is to change Leithanien, to give its citizens new lives, and to end the endless sacrifices. You must possess both absolute power and unbreakable resolve. Luckily, such power wasn't completely lost, and we're on our way to find it right now. So this power you speak of is hidden somewhere on this old campus? Yeah. And by obtaining it, we'll be able to resolve the predicament before us, eliminate the threat of the Witch King's remains, and change my fate all at the same time? It was only my confidence in it that gave me the courage to go against my teacher. Come, Franz, it's right up ahead. 9. You again. Don't follow him any further. You shouldn't go there. Come back with me. So you could strap me to a table again and make me a vessel for summoning the Witch King's legacy? In your dreams. Let the dregs of the past be buried by time and vanish from Leithanien entirely. They will. I'm doing what I can to ensure that happens, but before that, there is no before that. There's no before anything. I've thrown away even a guarantee from the Kaiserinnen. Do you really think I'd listen to the promises of a remnant of the Witch King? All I want is to obtain the Witch King's legacy. People you're talking about, the ones who want to summon the Witch King, are my enemies too. Not this again. Is always denying your involvement really that fun for you people? Or are you fighting over who gets credit for what? All to crawl ever closer to that rotten throne. I'm sick of all this. Can't you pick some other trophy and stay away from me? The stairs beneath us are vanishing? The school is much older than you could imagine. Don't resist the power of history. Give up. No. Lessing, not even you could fight a transforming staircase on your own. You'll only hurt yourself. Ugh. Are you this cruel to yourself too? Look, I don't know what Gerard told you, but don't listen to him. Rather than someone who claims to be grateful to the Witch King and wants to lock me away in a lab, I'd rather trust someone who once stood against the Witch King and saved my life. The advent of the Genesis Horn is extremely unlikely to hurt you in any way. The old man and I triple-checked that. The process may be painful, but not unbearable. But you aren't me! What right do you have to make the decision for me? I don't, but everyone has a responsibility that only they can bear. Stop running away. If neither the voice of the mundane nor the Urtica bloodline are things that you can change, then all you can do is accept them. Accept them. The ones who killed my parents and forced the voice of the mundane into me gave me the same excuse. The ones who almost turned me into a bomb to blow up a city, the ones who killed my brother, said nearly the same thing. Why do you people always have these self-righteous justifications? Is that really enough for you to ignore all the screams you're creating? Ugh. Verdammt. Still not letting go even after that blow? Are you really so eager to be torn to pieces by the ancient arts on these stairs? I'd rather die than see you fall into their hands. This has always been about more than just you. More than me as well. When Leithanien's future is at stake, any sacrifices... Franz, come. We need to keep going. This energy enveloping me. Did you save me? I didn't do it to save you. I just can't stand people like you, obsessed with sacrificing themselves. Franz, Ebenholz, don't walk right into a trap. Blessing knows. Come on, Franz. What is this place? This is where the key I mentioned lies, the key capable of fundamentally changing Leithanien. 1,000 years ago, sages from the various tribes came together and signed an alliance, witnessed by an all-powerful immortal caster. Pact laid out the relationship between the tribes, established the Kurfürsten system, and set the foundation for Leithanien morality and appreciation of the arts. You mean the Goldeneskashots? Yeah. In the centuries that followed, the Goldeneskashots ensured Leithanien's stability. That is, until a century ago when the Syracusans became the first to turn their backs on the Goldeneskashots and seek independence from Leithanien. It was a bloody conflict lasting several years. With one part of the choir gone, the movement became destabilized and many regions fell into chaos. Leithanien was on the brink of collapse. In those dire circumstances, a man stepped forward. He realized that the Goldeneskashots had to be amended. Only by removing Syracusa from the score entirely could the reborn movement unite the 9 remaining regions. The Witch King. Correct, my child. What you see before you is the most mysterious chamber of Ludwig's Universitat, where House Urtica's arts, circulated for centuries, are gathered, and where Herkomshorn rewrote the Goldeneskashots. I cannot agree to your methods. Even if I were willing to believe you that the Genesis Horn truly exists, it is incapable of descending upon Zwillingsturme as it is now. This is exactly why I didn't bother notifying you people. The Geistesvachter have heads even harder than their helmets. Your so-called safe and controllable plan to summon the Genesis Horn has already failed. The Witch King's remnants are hiding within the campus, and with all the relics of the Witch King stored here, they will bring forth a disaster of unprecedented scale. And for now, there is only one efficient means of stopping them. I refuse. We'll evacuate all the students and university staff. Ludwig's Universitat contains much more of value than just its students and instructors. I've had tenure here for centuries. Can you even imagine how many precious arts devices and enchantments there are here? I understand, but I ask you to please prioritize Leithanien's safety. Absolutely not! You say you understand, but that's far beyond your meager capabilities. The old man's voice calms down. His habitual tongue lashing comes to a halt. As he stares at the man in front of him, the shadow of his skinny body on the wall suddenly grows very tall, like a spire covered in vines. These spires are not for you to meddle with. If you dare suggest destroying them again, I'll throw all of you out at once. Something isn't right. The sunset outside the window disappeared? The sun's not the only thing that's gone. How very brave of you. However, don't even try to touch my shadow again, unless you wish to be dissolved by it. Herr Fremont's shadow. It's fractured into innumerable silk strings. Drost, lower your arts. Do not probe those shadows. His true form is hidden inside. You're not yet strong enough to stare directly into his soul. Oh, so you figured out who I am? Then you must also know that no one who's been thrown outside by me has ever managed to climb back alive. If you're brave enough, feel free to see for yourself. There's nothing out there whatsoever. I assure you that were you able to leap outside, you wouldn't even have the time to scream. Your mouths, vocal cords, and limbs would all perish in the darkness. I've never even heard of arts like these. Exile. I've heard it spoken of in legends, but was never sure how much truth there was to it until today. You've been hiding in Leithanien for so long now. Why choose now to reveal your identity? Ehrlich. Lich. A lich? You mean Herr Fremont is a Sarkaz? Oh, a Sarkaz? Aside from the immortal bastards of the royal court, very few these days have been able to deduce my identity. You say I've been hiding. That's a good way to put it, little lamb. When you put it like that, I've stayed in this country for far too long, haven't I? I never meant to hide my true identity. It's only that I've grown used to being cooped up in this spire, with my head burning in the literature here. It's you people who forgot who I was, and all of you keep bothering me with Leithanien's messes. Sometimes it's the wolves bickering with the lambs, other times it's 2 deer locking antlers. Haven't you wasted enough of my time? Now scram, and tell Grimmock that I don't care anymore. Once I've recovered what I loaned from the Genesis Horn, the liches will be gone from Leithanien for good. And if it's not too much to ask, get the hell out of here and never set foot in my holy temple again. The Genesis Horn cannot be allowed to descend. Did you not understand a word of what I just said? I am no match for you, but that doesn't mean Leithanien's Geistesvachter will give up so easily. And what about you, my lovely doe? Do you also seek death? Let her leave. Herr Fremont,
Surely there is still room to negotiate. You can stop trying. It's you? Hello, Drost. 9. I should call you Frau Hochberg. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Michael, the personal envoy of Her Majesty Grimmacht. So, you're another Empress's voice? I am not. An Empress's voice serves both Kaiserinnen at once, while I belong only to Grimmacht. Can I take that to mean that we're enemies? Last time we met, I already told you that we might walk different paths. What are you dawdling around for, wolf cub? Hurry and throw them out of here! Right away. Herr Reiner, Frau Hochberg, these are Grimmacht's orders. I am to assist Herr Fremont and ensure that the Genesis Horn makes its advent on Zwillingsturme. But why? First, because this is Grimmacht's promise to Herr Fremont. As a show of gratitude to the Lich's contribution to Leithanien over the past millennium, and to foster a continued long-lasting friendship, we will help Herr Fremont retrieve what once belonged to him. Second, if there's anyone who has the right to use the Genesis Horn, it can only be my liege. Your liege, singular. Don't let him get to you, Drost. It doesn't matter if it was Grimmacht or Uigegnod who wished for this. There's no reason for you to get involved. House Hochberg has already sacrificed too much for the conflict between the Witch King and the Twin Empresses, and for the Goldenisgesatz. I will see you out of here safely, even if I must put my life on the line. What's going on? Why is the spire shaking? It's not the spire that's shaking, it's the ground beneath us. The shadow is fracturing. Something is trying to make its way through. Is there something underneath the campus's plate? House Urtica's secret chamber. Those stupid sheep barged into my underground space. Fremont, you fool, you've been in Leithanien for far too long. You've contracted the stupidity from these bighorn sheep. He's cursing himself. Thank goodness, the legends were true. The old man was telling the truth. All these enchantments and arts devices, every last one of them perfectly preserved. This is living history. Not even the greatest history books were able to go into such fine detail about the situation. Wait, this is... There they are. The silhouette emerges from the darkness, followed by another and another. Their robes, hoods, and masks have not changed at all in the past 20 years. The silhouette he could not be more familiar with emerges from the nightmare that's plagued him for his entire life and steps right in front of him. Welcome back to your territory, Graf Urtica. Oh, excuse me. Professor Hoffman. What is it, Franz? Look what I just found. This is an art scroll that's been missing for ages. And this, it can't possibly be the brass instrument used by Herkonstron himself, can it? There are treasures here far more valuable than I ever imagined. My head, it hurts, verdammt. Why now of all times? When it's most dangerous. No, I can't fall here. Professor Hoffman, please go. I'll protect you. Franz, what in blazes are you talking about? Lessing was right. I can't keep running away. All this time, there's always been someone protecting me. All the people by my side. First it was that lady, and that respectable Gendarmerie, and then her Cerny, and him. All of them more willing to sacrifice themselves than I. But this time, I'll do it. I'll kill myself here. I still have the voice of the mundane they love so much. It should be more than enough to blow this chamber of evil to smithereens. Grab what you want while you still can. Go, hurry! It's time you got some rest, you silly child. What did you say? My life's work is about to be realized. But how am I supposed to accomplish all of this without you? Traitor! This is the second time someone holds a brass instrument up high violently and strikes his head. Graf Urtica. Many years ago, he woke up to find himself shackled to that chair. In the 10 years since, he was granted his name. He never wanted the title of Graf, and he despised the name Urtica more than anything. Even the name Franz, an old-fashioned name used by countless noble children, is something he had always loathed. In that spire standing tall in the center of the Urtica Graf shaft, he tried to escape that chair again and again. After all, it was never him that the nobles reporting on the affairs of the Graf Shaft truly cared about. They knew each other well, which is why the guards only ever came early in the day to drag him from the curtains to the chair. After a long time, he would finally be allowed to roam the spire aimlessly. Not even the guards noticed him then, until the next morning arrived. The days went by in that vicious cycle. If he hadn't tried to run even farther afield, hadn't thought about the other person suffering a similar fate, hadn't tried to resist, and hadn't been shown any hope whatsoever, then perhaps he would have been bound to that chair his entire life. But then today he finds himself caught once again, and behind him is yet another familiar chair. Its shadow is simple, elegant, and entwined with thorns. At a single glance, it feels as if his eyes, brain, and heart have been pierced with intense pain. Even the cheers around him are similar. It's just that this time, they call him Witch King.
I really
There we
did it.
go.
I managed to protect everyone by myself.
Now, out of curiosity, ooh, whimsical variations. I've gotten some stuff here. Let's collect. I've got the empty chair. I could put the chair in somewhere and make him sit in it. No, I'm kidding. I wonder, I still haven't gotten any of, wow. Okay. Well, I do have this stuff. I'm gonna get these. So I'll collect the rest of the furniture out of the shop. So we got that much, which is awesome. Let's get a bunch of these so I can upgrade people here soon, quickly. There's lots of stuff here yet to collect, and I'll work on that, especially these headhunting permits, but I've only got a couple days left. Today is the 18th that I'm recording this, and I've got the 19th and the 20th, basically, and then 4 hours on the 21st, so I've got 2 more days and a couple hours, basically. But I'm going to try and make a big recording after this, but for now, I do need to take a break because my voice is feeling crappy and I'm a bit tired. So I am going to finish up, and we're going to finish up with a couple of pools that I have.
It's quiet.
So
Doesn't have the constant pitter-patter of the rain.
we have enough
Ciao,
for
Doctor.
3 pools. So let's go ahead and jump into the headhunt and do that. Ooh, actually I have certs as well. I didn't realize that. I have 1. Okay. That was from my daily login stuff.
Cast a steward
We
reporting
got
in.
Steward.
I'm glad to be working.
We'll go through here.
My name is Plume,
Bile Plume.
formerly of the Pontifica Cohors Lateran.
Okay.
I will be your sword and your...
I'll have to finish the other poll when I get a chance. Chestnut.
プレゼントにこれをどう
The
ぞ。
rookie banner.
僕の集めた鉱物が入った標本ケースで。
And 1 more.
Hello!
Cardigan.
I've never
Okay.
been in such a big mobile facility
I didn't have her before, but now
I'm
I do.
So excited.
That's perfect. Good way to start. So I have 3 more rolls on this one. I haven't done anything on here yet, and I've got less time on it. Would be cool to have Ivanholtz for like collective purposes. I don't know anything about Genosis or Gnosis, however you say that. I have these 3 on my main account, so those I've never used though, so I don't know if they'd be worthwhile for this. But I definitely need to finish this off. I've got 8 more rolls, and I already got a 6-star out of here because I got Mountain, which is awesome. But yeah, I will have to continue and get the last 8 from there. So let's go ahead and update our potential here and click on Cardigan. We'll have to get her done because she's a healing medic or a healing defender. So would be cool to get her bumped up. All right, so that is it for this episode. And we got through 2 more stages and a couple more things, obviously, but it was a little bit problematic of getting through those 2 stages. Took me way too long to do it because obviously this recording has taken place over a couple of days to make this this episode. But
I got through, got to complete 2 more stages that had a lot of awesome story stuff and story bits, and it's preparing for a really massive event with the next stage. I know, I obviously finishing it on my account, I know what's going to happen, but there's some really massive things that are about to happen. And then what's neat is the story kind of throws a little bit of a calm before the storm moment at you, where you feel like it's like, wow, this could have been the end, but then all of a sudden everything feels real calm, real good, and then boom, it's gonna ramp up again, and we'll have a huge ending. So again, I'm going to try as hard as I can, at least to finish it, or at least to get to the final stage. I don't know if I'll get to, just because of the fact that with this account, I don't know if I'll be able to actually beat it for you guys, if I'll have good enough operators. But I'll continue to eyeball these low-end operator strategies and stuff, and continue to record here with what time I have left on the event. And once that's done, we'll see what else is coming. I don't know what like event rerun and things will be coming next, and what other maybe mini events and things they have planned, but we will continue to build off of that and get whatever operators we can off of banners and things, of course. And then, as always, we will continue to like push forward with the main story and stuff once we're done with these episodes and things. So we got lots of other stuff there to work on, and I'll be having a lot of fun in the coming days with trying to get that stuff taken care of. But that's it again for this episode, guys. And as always, if you want to help support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You could start by liking the video if you enjoyed it, or if you want to see more Arknights content, definitely leave a like. That helps me. You can also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Subscribing will help me to continue to grow. It's free for you to do, and it's going to let you know whenever I post new Arknights content and stuff like that. And the final way, if you want to, it's completely unnecessary for you, but if you want, there is a link in the description where you could buy me an operator. And basically what I mean by that is it's a donation link to my page that I usually use when I'm streaming. And if you want, you can leave a note in there, donate, and tell me like you saw the link, or you clicked on the link from this particular episode and you want to help buy me an operator. And what I'll do is I'll shout you guys out in a future episode, as well as we will go into the store and either buy some sort of a pack that contains Originite Prime, or, you know, certs, headhunting certs and things like that, or we'll just buy straight up Originite Prime from the store and use that to get some summons, or headhunts rather, and to get some other operators. And it'll be thanks to you guys that will add them to my collection. So with that being said, that's it for this one, and I will see you guys next time.